Hi, today's video is on cognitive behavioral therapy. Cognitive behavioral therapy is a very common and probably most common therapy used in a counseling session. It's a structured, goal-oriented type of talk therapy. It focuses on helping clients to change unhelpful thinking patterns and behaviors to improve their mood and their responses to challenging situations. So as your therapist, my job would be to help clients understand when they're using what we call cognitive distortions in their thinking. Basically, a cognitive distortion is a faulty thinking that can lead to an inaccurate belief of oneself. Why is that important? Well, when we can understand why we're using, or when we're using cognitive distortions, what they are, and recognize when I'm using it, I can also then start taking pressure off myself and recognizing maybe I'm not so bad at something after all. Maybe I've been putting too much pressure on myself. And when we start recognizing that, usually that's going to help with improved mood. It'll lessen any anxiety or depression we may experience. We'll gain some improved coping skills and self-awareness in the process. So I just wanted to list a couple cognitive distortions that are very common. There's a lot of them, but just for the sake of being pretty brief on this video, I'll just do a couple. So probably the biggest one is this concept of all or nothing thinking, right? So people who suffer from perfectionism will have this a lot, right? I either have to do it perfectly or I'm a failure. And so that's a really stressful way to walk around, because the reality is we're not perfect. We're gonna mess up, we're gonna make mistakes. And when we put that expectation on ourselves that it has to be perfect or it's a failure, we walk around in a lot more distress than we really need to. So as your therapist, my job is to listen to the narratives that you're saying and start picking up when clients are using the all or nothing thinking. Another common one is what we call emotional reasoning. I feel this way, therefore it's proof that it's true. Now, what we learn in therapy are feelings are not facts. And so we want to take the situation and take the facts from it to see if indeed what you're feeling is true. Okay, so an example is maybe you were triggered by something. And when you were triggered, it made you feel like, I'm worthless. And when I feel worthless, then I just feel bad about myself. I have a lot of depression and anxiety. I feel hopeless. And so in therapy, my job is to help the client look at the situation from the facts. When we can see what's really going on in the situation, then we can recognize maybe things aren't as bad or as hopeless as we thought. And if I feel more hopeful, I feel better, right? And so we want to learn when we are in our emotional reasoning and to remember to put it into perspective. Another one is should, ought, must, right? I should have done that better. I should have done this. I should have done that, and there's a lot of shoulds we do to ourselves, and it's unhelpful and unnecessary. Hindsight's always 20/20. When we beat ourselves up with all of the shoulds, I should have eaten better today. I should have done this way, and then this wouldn't have happened. And there's a lot of unnecessary inner dialogue that goes in to that. So again, as your therapist, my job is to help you recognize when you're utilizing cognitive distortions and how to get out of them and how to approach your day-to-day thinking up here, which is our prefrontal cortex, right? Our executive thinking. We want to think in this part of our brain instead of our more emotional part of our brain, which is where we're reacting to situations. We want to learn to respond to situations, which is when we're in our prefrontal cortex. And we do that. We learn tools to help us regulate ourselves and to just keep things in perspective and to give ourselves grace, because we're not going to show up perfectly. And when we can start recognizing cognitive distortions, then we don't have to go down rabbit holes that otherwise might dysregulate us or make us upset or stressed or something like that. So cognitive distortions is just one of the ways that we utilize cognitive behavioral therapy. It's one of the things that we do in therapy. Stick around for more videos because I will talk about other therapies we do in sessions and a little bit about what each one is like and how they differ from each other.